Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed our student sticker project. In this video, I'm going to go a little bit more in depth into Inkscape. The purpose of today's tutorial is to show you how to add digital cut lines to your images so that you can take them to any vinyl printer in your area and have your own stickers made. Today I'm going to be working with a number of student-made artworks. If you're interested in finding out a little bit more about the process, you can click the link here and watch this video. Now it's time to get started. I'm going to go ahead and import my file. I've got Inkscape stickers, and I'm going to be using this right here. So once I've got my image dropped in, this is just a JPEG, so it is not a vector. Even though Inkscape wants everything to be vectors, you can drop in JPEGs anytime you want by importing them. And if we needed it vectorized, we could right-click and go to Trace. But that's not what we're doing today. I want to just go ahead and make sure that it's the same size as my canvas, which is this white box. I grab this little handle, and you'll notice that you can distort the image, change the size any way you like. If you hold Control, it will lock the aspect ratio and allow you to change it without distorting it. Now that I think about it, I want this to be a good bit smaller. If you come up here, you can see your dimensions of your image, and again, if you click on this little lock button, you can lock the aspect ratio and you can change the image down. I actually want this to be, let's say, a 3.5 inch sticker. So let's just go to 3.5 in the width. Zoom in. Alright, I decided that for this image I want a black box around it. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a black box bigger than our shape. Doesn't really matter what size it is. I'm going to then select it with my general selection tool, and I'm going to lower selection to bottom. So what's done is it now has these essentially layered on top of each other, and I can choose which one is on top. When I make my stickers, I want to change the cut of the sticker. I do not want this to be a rectangle sticker. So what I need to do is tell the computer where to do the cutting. I'm going to do that by drawing my own cut line. I'm going to click on the Bezier curve or the Bezier pen tool, and then I will start to rough in my very simple shape of my cut line. I recommend trying to keep, I'm going to be eyeballing this. I will not be doing a lot of measuring. I just want to make it look pretty good. We can't see it, so I'm going to come over here to the right, and I want to go to Fill and Stroke. I do not want it to have a fill. I do not want it to be a full shape. I do, however, want it to be a stroke. And what happened was our line was black. So I personally like to make all my cut lines red. It just helps me keep organized. So I'll just slide the red over. Then I want to change my stroke 0.01 inches. That's going to be just fine. Just for our printer, I've already spoken with him, and I know that he just generally needs the shape and placement of the cut line. Doesn't really matter the stroke width. I want to keep it thin just so that it represents exactly what I want it to represent, but you should always talk with your printer to decide amongst yourselves what kind of file types, what preparation he or she needs, and just generally make sure that you're both on the same page so that when you're handing over a file for printing, it's ready to go. So I'm going to edit my nodes. I'm going to go over here to Edit Node tool, Edit Path Nodes. And the first thing I want to do is I just want to select every one of those. You'll see they turn like a yellowish green. And I'm going to come up here and auto smooth all of those nodes. So what that does is give me kind of a very rough shape of what I want to cut. And so I can select each one of these nodes individually and start to pretty it up a little bit. If you really want to get fancy, you can come up here and grab guidelines and start to line these up and on the guidelines, which I don't really want to do. I just want them to be, maybe this one, because they're so far apart. See, that's not lining up. So in Inkscape, you could do a couple different ways to modify your nodes or your stroke. You can grab the individual nodes and pull them around. You can also grab the handles right here and move them to create different shapes and curves. All right, so now that we've done that, now we have to get rid of this big black box. I don't want it. So what I'm going to do is select my cut line. I'm going to hit Control D, which is going to duplicate it. Then with the one that I have selected, I'm also going to select the black box. I want to then come up here to Path, and I'm going to go to Division. And what that's going to do is use that cut line to cut out the shape of this black box. So that gives me this. And I can go ahead and hit Delete to delete that. The reason we duplicated the red line is because when we did the division, it removes the red line to cut away the black box. So we wanted to keep our cut line there. So that's why we made the duplicate. Now this file is ready for printing. I just need to save this into the formats that are agreed upon with my personal printer. He likes them in EPS. Now I have my files to give over to our friend Pat upstairs. I hope you find this tutorial helpful. If you're interested in seeing more of our videos, please like and subscribe down below. And if you have any suggestions for future Inkscape videos, please let me know.